Rockschool Grade 5 piece called Geek. The genre is pop punk and the tempo is set at 137 beats per minute. Just have a listen to all of this stuff here. Have a go, have a listen. It'll get you understanding the kind of drum beats and power style, past and not too distant past. The code is important, so it's a swung kind of thing here. So the quavers are set at a kind of tripleted, so they're swung. So this is 1, let 2, let 3, let, instead of being 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's 1, let 2, let 3, let 4, let, and that's what this means. So whenever you see two quavers together, you delay the second one. 1, let 2, ba da da. 1, let 2, let 3, let 4, let, going from P to F. P means piano, that's quiet in Italian. F means forte, that's loud all the way through here. 1, let 2, let 3, let 4, let 1, let 2, let 3, let 4, let 1, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet with a bass on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 trip, let 4 trip, rest. 3 rest, trip, rest, trip, rest. That's important to get in time, of course, just like anything in drums. Then you're on the crash cymbals until you get to here. So bass, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. When you see a diagonal line through a snare, it means loud with a crack. So you're hitting the rim of the snare and the skin. It gives out a rim shot crack. And here you got a snare drum bracketed. That means a ghosted snare drum. So it's, you could say it's bass, bass, loud, bass, soft, bass, loud, bass, loud, bass, soft, bass, loud. More of the same. Bass, snare, snare, bass, snare, 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 snare. 3 triplet, 4 triplet, crash, bass, snare. More of the same, more of the same, same. Bass, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare. Snare, 1 floor, floor, bass, bass. It's the same as that. 3, Then you're into the hats. Crash, snare, bass, bass, loud, soft bass, snare, bass, bass, rim shot, ghost note, bass, bass, snare, bass, bass, loud, soft. And then this is 3 triplet, 4 triplet, bass, bass, snare. More of the same thing, same thing. And then here it's bass, bass, snare, 3 triplet, 4, let, tom 1, then tom 2, high tom, mid tom. Into the hats with the full crash, snare, hat, bass, hat, snare, hat 1, let 2, let 3, let 4, let 1, let 2. More of the same. Just keep the hats. You got to keep that swung feeling measured and exact, just like everything else in drums, not unless it's otherwise indicated. Here you got half open hats, which means that the two hi-hat cymbals work off each other, so they're kind of vibrating and bouncing off, creating a hiss sound throughout. Bass, snare, bass, bass. So bass, hat, snare, hat, bass, hat, snare. And then you just hold it for 4. 1, let 2, let 3, let 4. 1 triplet or 2 triplet or 3 triplet or 4 triplet. So just find your way through this. The sticking is important, but 1 da 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 da. 4 triplet. 1 da da 2 triplet da 3 triplet da 4 triplet. This is important to get nice and snug and together. An exact, precise bass, snare, bass, soft, bass, loud. Same sort of thing, except you're not on the crashes, you're on the hats. So E is basically B. More of the same. Bass, snare, 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 tom 1, tom 2, bass, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. More of the same. Here you got to do a page turn. Just photocopy these two and along your stand. There are longer stands you can get. You can also get sticks and glue them on each other so that you have one big thing. Or some people just have a lip or a bit of paper here so that you can quickly make a page turn. But the most important thing is just to get it nice and smooth. And then you've got more of the same. Then you got 1 triplet, 2, let 3 trip. So snare, 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 tom 1 2 2 2, 3 tom 2, so high tom, mid tom, mid tom, mid tom, snare, 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 same thing as you did before, except you got open, close, open, close, open, close, 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 and then you got a drum solo for 2, 4, 6, 8 bars. The most important thing is to keep time in the drum solo, so you can literally go 1 2 bass snare bass bass snare 1 2 bass snare ba 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 da boom da 1 2 2. So if you recycle these type of fills that you did previously, you'll be doing fine. So if you say did this ba 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 here ba 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 ba, and then if you did this fill here, as long as it sounds musical, but you got to find your way around this. You've literally got to invent it, glue it together, and make it work beautifully. And then you got to crash right on the right cymbal here, all the way through, even until section H. So you got crash, snare, bass, bass, ride, ride, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, ride, bass, snare, and then it carries on. This bar is the same as this almost, except for the bass, snare, ding, bass, bass, snare, snare. The develop, sometimes you can crash it on the two, bass, crash, bass, bass, crash, bass, crash, bass, bass, crash. The develop means you got to do more of the same, but just a little bit of something interesting, something tasty to the ear. So just continue for another 2, 4, 6, 8 bars. Then you get into section H. You dip down to MP, which is medium quiet. Then crash, snare, to bass, to stand, all the way through, all the way through. Open hat there, close. And then you got snare, 1, floor, floor, bass, bass, snare, snare, 1, 1, 2, 2. 1 is high tom, 2 is mid tom. And then you back into the crashes, almost doing the same groove, except you're hitting the hat on the in between triplet here, 1, and then you rim shot, 1, loud, bass, snare, bass hat, bass snare, bass, bass snare, bass snare, bass snare, bass, bass snare, bass hat, bass snare, bass, loud, bass snare, 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 snare. So you got a rim shot, hat with your left, more of the same, bass snare, bass hat, bass snare. Invent a fill here. It could be 1 2 let 3 let 4 1 2 let crash, and this is how it works.
Geek 1 2 1 2 3 4.